Hi everyone, Ryan here from Fight Game Analysis, and today we're going to be talking about the upcoming fight between Islam Makhachev and Thiago Moises. But before we jump into that, if you've been enjoying the content, please go ahead and click on the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate your support. Alright, so we got a big fight coming up this Saturday between Islam Makhachev and Thiago Moises. Makhachev is this guy that I always like to see come into the octagon. I've been watching him for, a few fights now. Got introduced, like most of us, to him through Khabib, right? They both are from Dagestan. Both have been great fans, training together for a long time. Makhachev is training under Khabib's dad. They come over here. He's now currently training at AKA, has been for quite some time. You hear people out of AKA, American Kickboxing Academy, talking about him. Daniel Cormier, Luke Rockhold, doesn't matter who it is. Everybody has nothing but the highest praise for Islam Makhachev, for his skill level and the way that he dominates in the gym, for his work ethic, for the way that he's always showing up, always bringing it, for the type of teammate that he is. Just all around the board, everybody loves him. Khabib was trying to get him a fight with Tony Ferguson for a long time, man. Once Khabib had retired, Tony had just taken that nasty loss to Justin Gaethje. He had come out in an interview and said that he thought Tony's time was past. He had been trying to get him a fight with Makhachev, even offered to pay him extra on the side. And that's because he knew how much of a big name Tony was. And he knew how much Islam Makhachev was going to go out there and just completely dominate him. Or at least he thought that he would, right? Based off of the type of style that he had. So let's talk about that style a little bit, right? So he's an international master sport in Sambo. Typically the guys that we see, what they bring to the table with that, it's just that nasty grappling. Right, just that relentless pressure, heavy top pressure, dominating guys. Makhachev brings all that. Now, I mentioned Khabib earlier, and you think about Khabib, all the stuff that he brings to the table, you think about his takedowns. Pretty traditional, right? Comes in for single legs, maybe some double legs, maybe he gets guys up against the cage and then pulls their legs out from under him, whatever it is. Nothing all that crazy, nothing all that unique. But Islam Makhachev's a little bit different, man. He does a lot of his work from inside the clinch. I love the way he gets in there with guys, gets in tight, and he uses trips. All kinds of little trips from the inside, trips from the outside. Gets their weight moving one way and then pulls them another and gets them a trip that way. Really slick little stuff that he uses in there that you don't see many guys use. So I imagine it's pretty hard to prepare for, pretty hard to get a guy into the gym to use the type of moves that Makhachev is going to be using against you so that you can start to develop some techniques to, that'll work against that defensive. Then on the other side, standing across from him, we've got Thiago Moises. This dude, his bread and butter is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He is a black belt, high level. I think one of the fights that really emphasize what he brings to the table is Michael Johnson. So he goes out there in that first round against Michael Johnson, and Michael Johnson has got the fast hands, man, and he is just out there lighting them up. Fast hands, fast feet. He's moving all over the octagon. He's basically doing whatever he wants. He's landing punches at will, just tearing dude apart. Second round starts. Thiago Moises sprints across the octagon, ends up getting the takedown, and about 30 seconds later, he has the submission. I mean, that's how nasty his submission game is, and that's how much he was being outclassed in the first round as well. Now, it's interesting. His two fights since then, Bobby Green, Alexander Hernandez, striking was way better. It was like he instantly realized, look, man, if I'm going to do anything in this division, I am going to have to come out here. I'm going to have to get better at striking. He's training down there with the best of the best at American Top Team. So he's got great coaches. He's got great training partners. And you could tell that he put in the work on this striking. He came out there in that fight with Bobby Green. He's got crisp hands, throws well, good balance, lateral movement, kicks, high kicks that are fast, that are crisp. Like, I was impressed with how different he looked and how quickly he looked that much different. All that being said, being able to go out there and do all these things isn't being able to same as having that fight IQ and being a high-level striker for just year after year after year. I mean, you think about how good he is at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and how many years it took to get there. He just doesn't have those years under his belt when it comes to striking. Standing across from Islam Makhachev isn't exactly some wondrous striker himself. I mean, we all know what his bread and butter is. He wants to get in there and grapple with you as well. His striking is, it's improving. It's getting a lot better. Don't get me wrong. When we first saw him, it was pretty rusty. It's still not going to win him any world titles. He's still pretty limited in what he's going to do. I mean, if he wants to go out there and put some offense together, you're talking about a left hand and a left high kick. Other than that, I don't think he's really threatening anybody with what he's doing on the feet. Everybody knows what he brings to the table. Everybody knows what his game plan is, and they still can't stop him. But the question is, what's it going to look like when these two step in the octagon with each other on Saturday night? Now, this is an interesting one. Right? Styles make fights. Now, if you look at a guy like Makhachev, can he handle high-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys? Well, he just fought one, Davi Ramos. Took him down, no problem, dominated him. Heavy top pressure, was able to impose his will on Ramos. Did what he wanted. Caused some damage, never really, as far as like worried about a submission, any threats there. Can he handle the striker? We looked at his last fight against Drew Dober. Man, I think Drew Dober is highly underrated as far as striking goes. Man, he is a nasty striker. You look at the way he gets that left hand off. You look at those kicks. Drew Dober brings it. Makhachev was able to handle all that. Again, no real problem at all. Eventually took him down. Did what he wanted to do. So he's handling high-level jiu-jitsu guys. Get him down, take him down, no problem. Never threat in getting submitted. High-level striking guys. Doesn't get caught, doesn't get lit up. Ends up taking him down. So then standing across from him, you've got Thiago Moises. Well, Thiago Moises, it is his background. Nasty Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Really good there. But is he going to be able to get submissions off against a guy like Makhachev? I mean, you got to think that Makhachev's going to take him down. Right? Unless you think that Moises is going to take Makhachev down. We know that's not going to happen. Okay. Unless you think that maybe he's going to be able to prevent himself from getting taken down. This is going to be the guy, right? Moises is going to come out there. His takedown defense is going to stop Makhachev from taking him down. I highly doubt it. Maybe for a little bit. Maybe he'll be able to stay up. But eventually this fight's going to end up on the ground. So the question is, what's it going to happen when it gets on the ground? When he's on his back, Makhachev's on top of him. Dude, that top pressure that he has, the way he's able to dominate guys, the way he's able to collect their legs and wrap them up, turn guys, control both sides of the body, right? He's got his hips on one side, he's got his head on the other side. He's locking down one arm, he's applying pressure another way, throwing raining punches down on him. I mean, come on, man. They're just not handling that yet. Nobody's been able to handle that yet. I mean, as far as when it's on the feet, I actually give Moises the advantage. Like I said, I thought his striking has come a long way. I thought his hands look really crisp. I just don't think he's going to be able to land anything there of significance. I don't think he's going to be able to hurt Makhachev. I don't think he's going to be able to land some knockout punch and get him out of there. That's not the way I see this going down. And I don't think Makhachev is going to decide to go out there and try and keep it a standing affair like he's got something to prove. Like all of a sudden his ego gets the best of him. He wants to turn into a kickboxer overnight. Right? Like this dude's Bangkok ready when he comes out there. Like, that's not the case. Everybody knows what he's going to do. He knows what he's going to do. He's going to stay true to that plan. I absolutely going to believe that he's going to come out with the win. It's a pretty big line. Minus 625. I think that's a little bit inflated for as skilled as Moises is, both on the feet and as particularly with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's a big one. But I do think he walks away with the victory. So let me know what you guys think. Is this going to be another win for Islam Makhachev? Or is Thiago Moises going to come in there and just completely upset the apple cart and show people that he means business?